All right, what's up, guys? We are back again. Bad Habits Podcast. Got your host here, Andrew.
Luke.
And we are going to just kind of talk about some questions we got lined up here. Maybe go a half hour, 45 minutes or so. We got a couple of nice drinks. Hope you guys pour one with us. Let's get into it. You want to start it off?
Yeah, I'll start off. Drink of the night choice, by the way, is we got Fireball on the rocks. We got a Captain Coke over here. All right.
Say what you will.
Huh?
It's delicious.
All right. So, oh boy. I just want to know, like, what to save the good ones for last. But we'll just kind of just fire it off and just say, so is technology, will it or should it ever one day take over the job of teachers? So
You know why I don't think it will? Because, well, actually, I can't say I don't think it will because it can do the same job that they're trying to do right now to kids and that they've been doing to kids, is they're just programming them a certain way to grow up a certain way because the world needs workers and, like, they need trained minds. Big government, billionaires, they need trained minds to be those people in the rat race. So that's kind of what they instill them to be.
I think we'll continue to in the teaching, because oh my god, like it's not just schools. Teachers are everywhere for different jobs.
Yeah.
Different, like there's there's training for jobs. Like it's teacher. That's technically a teacher.
That would be technically a teacher, yeah.
And I think that we'll continue to advance in tools to help. But yeah, I mean, it comes to a point where, I mean, you even see, you know, I love, as you know, I love watching movies, especially when it comes to like the future, you know, era.
Same.
Yeah, you love that stuff too.
Yeah.
And that's gonna dive into another topic that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But, you know, you see in these movies and in these future eras that people think that we're gonna end up going to one day, and they still, no matter what, always have a teacher. They always still have those people in those commands, no matter how futuristic those movies are, because they kind of everybody does still have that vision that it's you just can't replace a human in that spot.
Well, there's certain things that nowadays AI is definitely going to be, it is currently replacing and
robots
will be replacing in the future. Like, unfortunately, AI could do my job better than I can do my job. Like, they would know the exact tonality. They would know exactly the diagram, part name, everything. They could get it. Boom, price and availability, like, so quick. My job could be replaced by AI if there was a program being sold for it, like, easily, which is sketch. And that's just one avenue of it. Like, they go off and create me. Have you heard the AI songs by like Drake and The Weeknd and stuff like that? You haven't heard any of those? Like AI producers, AI graphic designers, AI, like, so much, like. And if you're not actually adding some sort of value outside of, like, that avenue, you could easily be replaced by AI. But that's kind of a spin-off from teachers.
Yeah. There's a lot of positions at my job too that could get eliminated by robot tire installation, and I mean it's already in the works.
But that's the thing, is mine wouldn't even require like a physical robot.
It's just AI.
It's just AI on a freaking computer, on a program that can answer your calls and do everything for you. Like,
scary.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get to that point. I don't think we will. But like in the other topic that we're going to talk about, and there's actually kind of a spin-off of 2 different topics that I picked, that some scary stuff is definitely in the works. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Cool. Let's see here. I want to know what you think the most desirable trait another person can possess. And if we want, we can break it down into a woman and a man. Otherwise, we can just generalize.
Can you give me an example, please?
Trait as in just like, okay, we'll make it easier then. What's the best trait a man can possess?
Being successful.
Yeah, but there's traits that are going to
Like,
make you successful.
I know. That's why I'm saying, like, give me an example, because this is hard. Like, I guess
Okay.
I'm not super.
I would say things like discipline or like open-mindedness.
I would want
or like
100% say discipline.
yeah.
Absolutely. Hands down. I mean, literally before the conversation that we were talking about before we even sat down, I mean, that's to even become successful or even consider being successful. You know, you can have all these tools and all this knowledge and all this and all this, you know, people behind you, and but I mean, if you're not determined and have the discipline to
Do it when you don't want to do it.
do, like with the gym, with getting healthy,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably the hardest thing that you can possibly do, is instead of just go your day-to-day life and eat whatever the heck you want. And I mean, how many times, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, how many times I have cravings where I want to just eat just ass. Like,
yeah.
I want to smash a dirty bag of freaking, you know, whole bag of jalapeno cheddar freaking Old Dutch chips. I know that I'm going to feel like shit. You have to stay disciplined for the health. You have to stay disciplined for the success. You have to stay disciplined for your work. I mean, like what you do, you're extremely disciplined with your sleeping schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like these certain things, I would 100% say 100% say discipline. So yeah,
I would probably second that. As a man, I think stoicism is extremely important. Being like completely aware of like your emotions and what you're feeling, but not letting them control you. And like, cause that's what makes a dangerous man. What makes a school shooter is letting your emotions control you. You know, like not being in control of all that kind of stuff. But yeah, discipline is definitely high up there for sure.
wow, that's crazy. It's deep. That's really deep.
Yeah.
It's true though.
Your turn.
All right, so we're just gonna go turn sleep timer off. We'll just do this one because my last 3 are actually really fun topics. So compared to, okay, so before I ask the question, me and Andrew were both born in 1997. It was still at a really good time where we weren't fucked with technology. And
yeah, we were like the last generation.
To
not really grow up completely with a phone. Not only not grow up with a smartphone.
Like me and Andrew's families, I think both. I mean, but our families are quite different, but at the same time, I think our parents both had very similar morals of how they wanted to raise their children.
And they're actually still together.
Yeah, and they're still
nowadays.
together, and they still love each other, and they had, you know, they raised us all a very certain way. You know, my parents never bought us any video games. I got a Game Boy Color for my first thing
Took
ever.
a long time.
And I was like 10 or 11 or 12. And I never had a PS2 or this and that. I got my first Xbox 360 when I was in like 5th grade. Thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Right? Yeah, I didn't think I got mine until I didn't think I get an Xbox 360 until I was freaking probably 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah, but like that's not the biggest thing. It's like the phones. Like my parents gave me a phone. My first phone, I was in 7th grade. I was in 7th grade, and it was a flip phone, and it literally only could call and it could text, but it was you hit 4 times to get to, you know what I mean? Like, It was terrible. So, like, you just never wanted to text. You didn't want to be your phone. It was just for the emergencies, for just, like, calling people.
I had to use my mom's phone for the longest time because they wouldn't let us get phones because it was too expensive for one, and it was pointless. We don't need phones. Like, you literally, if you want to get a hold of somebody, you get on your bike, you go down the freaking street, and you knock on their door to come outside and play. Like, it's not like...
Yeah. Like... I got my first smartphone when I was in 10th grade. It's my first iPhone. I got the iPhone 6 or the 5C, the color, the first one where they actually started to be smooth and it came with all the colors. But it was also when, so now I'm going to dive back to the question. So it was also when it was a really important thing with families and like being with family, spending time with family and celebrating holidays together. Doesn't have to mean every single one, but Christmas, you know what I mean? Like that build up for Christmas, the 21 days of Christmas, like the build up and you set the things up and you know what I mean? Like
you have the calendar that you put in the little thing every single day up until it.
I had that. I had the little cubbies.
My parents still put that up.
Yes. Like my parents were really big on it and, you know, just holidays in general, like being with each other and, you know, the, you know, Good Friday and Easter of, you know, the actual, you know, what that signifies and whether you guys believe it or not, it doesn't matter. But, you know, just all these certain things. And nowadays,
traditional family values.
Family values. And when I have a family one day, that is, I will stick to that.
Absolutely.
I will not.
I am staying traditional.
I will,
which is incredibly hard nowadays.
It's very hard.
Like you are hated for being traditional.
Yep.
It's wild.
It is wild. But the question is, do you think nowadays holidays are too commercialized?
I think there are some like
Christmas,
like St. Patty. No, Christmas. I don't think that's commercial. I mean, like you mean like pushed like.
It's just like it's not as
Christmas feely
anymore. It's not. And
I still think
whether you get older or not. No, it's not.
When you say that, I look at things like St. Patty's Day. Like people just use that as an excuse to go get fucked up. Like I think that's super pointless.
Oh,
we literally talked about this. St. Patty's Day was when you
remember? I don't remember it.
Where's Irish? Where's freaking? It's when the Irish accepted Christianity or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. I mean, obviously, we'll just leave it at that. We don't have to dive into it, look it up. But yeah, it's something like
it's
that.
Along the lines of that.
Of like something actually important.
Yeah.
And like
and then the West makes it all about drinking now.
Yeah.
It's like things like that.
I mean,
I don't
literally everybody.
To.
Yeah, everybody just dresses up in green, paints their face green, and you drink green beer and you take green shots and you just get wrecked.
Yeah.
Same with Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
I don't know the
significance.
Yeah, of Cinco de Mayo, but it's something important of like the. Hold on, it actually might not be important at all. I swear I looked it up and it actually was. Cinco de Mayo is. I think it's like celebrating like the Day of the Dead for maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo that commemorates the Mexican army's victory over France. So it's something like that's actually something important for like. So it's like they probably actually celebrate something else down in Mexico. What do we do? You
Drinko de Mayo.
Yeah, you drink. It's now Drinko de Mayo. You go to every Mexican restaurant is brimmed to the pack, and you just freaking slam margaritas, and everybody's got the margaritas on the deals, and you go get wrecked with the margs. I mean, it's
that one kind of makes a little bit more sense than St. Patty's Day because like you like won a war, so you want to celebrate by raising a toast. But when you
nobody knows what that actually
Christianity, and it's like.
You know what we should do? It'd be fun to go like out to like St. Patrick's Day roll around like downtown, because we live right next to downtown, and like,
Yeah.
hey, like, do you know what you're actually celebrating today? And like getting people's reactions and see what they would say.
That would be good, actually.
It would be. Next year we'll try and actually plan it out, and we'll stay sober, and we'll go actually see how many people are smart.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I didn't. There's something feels different nowadays. I mean, I guess like obviously as a child and like being younger, like you feel a certain way about certain things, and you get excited for it.
I think you subconsciously feel this, but I think what it might be is that all these holidays, like Valentine's Day is a prime example, it's literally a holiday where businesses can push sales. It's like, and it's an excuse for people to go and spend money and drive up sales.
Memorial Day.
Like, yeah.
We have an upcoming one on it's Memorial Day, I'm pretty sure. Memorial Day sale. Black Friday is terrible now. I mean, I think Black Friday is a fluke. I mean, we practically run Black Friday deals throughout the year at our work. You just got to get them at the right time. I mean, that's people just, I'll just wait for Black Friday. I'll wait till Black Friday. Dude, it's not, I don't know that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of different theories for those types of sales for Black Fridays and stuff. I've seen stuff like that before. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I guess I kind of miss it, but
I mean, things change. Things will never be the same.
I guess so. It's kind of like up to us now. We're in the kind of point of our life where we're not as at the hip to our parents anymore and talking to them all the time and at their house, a lot anymore. And like, it's like now it's like it's our time to build our life. And then when we have our families, it's like it's our choice to
exactly create those feelings for them.
I will.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because I never forget those things now, and I want my kid to feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving my kid a freaking iPad when he's 4. I had a family. Really quick, I'm gonna say this, and then we're done on this topic. I had a family come in to my last store I was at. I just got transferred, and this family came in, and she put her kids on every bar stool at App Valley.
Here's your iPad. Here's your iPad.
Here's your iPad. Here's your iPad. Here's your iPad. It was 3 kids. They all had iPads. One couldn't even speak.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
And she knew what she was doing. They all had the big iPads. Obviously, it was a more wealthy family, and the oldest one was maybe 4. It was probably like it looked like probably like a 5-year-old, a 5, a 4, and a 2, something like that. But it was 3. They were all extremely young. Like, we're talking preschool and under, and they were cruising through this thing. Even the little baby that couldn't even speak. She couldn't even speak. She could not speak words.
But she knows how to navigate technology.
Cruise through. She's playing like a baby like version of like building and shit. I was like,
yep.
I was mind boggled. I won't corrupt my kids like that. I won't.
Nah, I saw this thing the other day on TikTok, like this family, like, yeah, it is possible to raise your kid without a device. And she was like 9 or something like that and had never had a device, like any device. I'm like, whoa, like that's actually crazy.
9 years old?
Yeah.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
I know.
That's how it should be, dude.
I know, but it's like damn near impossible because like it is literally an extension of you nowadays. It's like they're pushing all this technology, like you start wearing it with your Apple Watch, right?
Yeah.
And now they want to put a chip in your brain, and they want to put a little thing in your wrist where that's how you can pay, and like all this kind of stuff. And it's dude, like this is the first version of it.
I know.
We are literally attached to this, like, yeah. And now it's like all electric cars by 2025 or 2030 or whatever it is, and
I think it's a little bit younger. I think, or not younger. I think it's a little bit sooner than that.
I know that Audi is like all electric by 2025.
We're getting there.
They aren't making any more petrol. Like, it's freaking crazy.
It's super crazy.
It's scary.
It is very scary.
Like, yeah.
All right, we can
change topics.
Yep,
all right.
You're all good.
So, this is pertaining to anything, like literally anything. First thing that comes off your mind, what do you want most?
Success.
Okay.
First thing that comes to my head is just to be successful. I want to be able to build a empire.
Yeah.
Period.
I would agree. That I think would be my second though. My first would be health. Because what is true wealth, right? Health. There's billionaires in the hospital and they can't do anything. Like obviously they can get a lot of treatment.
You got me.
But like they would probably give it up.
Yeah. 100%.
For youth again.
For youth again and for health and to be able to move and mobility and
that's why I like low-key
right.
take eating and the gym and like all that kind of like super seriously and like I'm so willing to cold turkey all the shit in the past. Is like it's a cheesy quote kind of, but like health is wealth, like you know.
And like what I was talking about before and like how serious I'm about this now and like how I'm emotional about it. Obviously we don't have to talk about what it is, but you know what I mean? Like it's done. It's I'm realizing that and those people need to start to slowly, unfortunately, some of them are going to have to just move to the side, but it is what it is. It's life, dude. I mean, one thing is this tattoo. I don't talk about it too much because I can never see it. So I always forget, but like it's this big hourglass that's all shattered up top, and it has like
literally my background is an hourglass,
and the top is broken and shattered, and it signifies our life in our time, that it's an unknown clock number, it's an unknown amount of time, and it's all falling down the hourglass, and we have no idea how full, and that obviously is the time frame. I mean, like it could be at birth. It could be when we're 90.
It could be tomorrow.
And so, it's crazy. And actually, it's funny. I was watching a TikTok, and it came up in like Facebook or whatever, one of the reels, and this guy was like, and he was like sitting in his car, and he was like, I got to work, and me and my wife like fought last night, and we had a big fight, and he was like telling his coworker,
I saw this,
and he's like talking, and he's like,
I saw this,
and he's like, yeah, man, like, it's all right. I'm gonna go home. After work today, and we'll work it out. And he looked in my eyes, in his eyes, and he put his hands on his shoulders, and he said, "What makes you think that you're gonna make it home today?"
Yep, I literally saw that.
And he immediately, like as he was explaining, he freaking gets choked up because it's like, dude, that's crazy. Like, you could literally have a fight. That's like one thing like that always scares me. Like, fighting with my parents, or fighting with my little brother, or fighting with like a really close friend, or like me and you, and like you having a heart attack one night, you know what I mean? Like whatever it may be.
The freaking shit in your neck, dude.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, I had a tumor like back a few years ago, and then obviously like this weird little thing that came up that we thought maybe was another tumor. Like
Like I went over to my parents' house today to help Sophie like learn how to change a tire, and I almost got in the car and left, and I was like, nah, I gotta go give my dad a hug, tell him I love him. Like, because I literally could get freaking destroyed in my car on the way home, and or he's getting in the car and he could get freaking destroyed, and I made that conscious decision to get in my car and just leave.
It's terrible.
Like, those things are like...
But here's the other thing, too, is that it's such a touchy subject, too, because at the end of the day, you can't be, you always say you can't be too emotional about those type of topics too, because you can't sit and think about it too much, because it is life.
Yeah.
Like that damn hourglass that you can stare into it, and you can just hope, and you can just like, I always like envision that back, my tattoo, my hourglass is like, you pick this thing up and you're looking at it, and it's like what's that thing when you look into it, thing where
kaleidoscope.
A kaleidoscope where you're looking at it, you're like, oh my gosh, it's consistent moving. You're looking at this clock, and it's like, it's just, you have no idea. You have no idea how much time is in there. As much as you want, and you want to hold on to it, and you're like, I'm shooting for that. You can't. It's an unknown, and it's scary, but you can't sit and think about it. You just have to do the best you can every single day.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yep, I agree.
But sorry, going back to that. Or was that it?
That was it. That was
okay.
What we were talking about, is what do you want most in life. And it's just like, I mean,
Health. I agree.
Health.
That's I'll back that.
yeah.
100%. I agree with
Yeah.
you, dude. That was good. That was dope. Because we do. I think we've both learned a lot from each other over this past year and a half living with each other, and and being so close for almost a full decade now at this point. We're gonna have like, speaking of holidays and an excuse to get wrecked. We're gonna have a 10-year party, me and you. A decade party.
Okay, you can't Aikido me right now. Sure.
Well, I just did, so deal with it.
All right, fine.
So someone freaking drew something. So the next one is what did I do? Done. There we go. So okay, so we got a little sappy.
Yeah, wipe them tears.
Yeah, got a little deep there. So I'm gonna turn it on now into a little fun topic. I love these topics right here. All right, we're gonna say both of these, and we can talk about either one because they're both, in my opinion, the same. You go first. Your thoughts and opinions on ghosts and aliens.
So,
Are they real? Do you believe in them? Where do you think you can see them, feel them?
yeah.
Like, how do you think you can see or feel these entities?
Well, the first
Have
thing
you
that
ever
goes
ran
to my
into one?
mind, kinda, yeah, I think so.
So you talk first, and then say if you've ever actually encountered something.
Yeah, so we'll start with ghosts. First thing that come to my mind is the Holy Ghost.
Okay.
So, like, that obviously sparks something in me about supernatural. I think if there is, it's definitely like an energy, because energy, it's a law. Yeah, let me finish this point real quick. It's a law where energy can't be. Oh shit! I can't believe I'm not forgetting this right now. I've used this before.
I've heard you talk about this.
Energy can't be erased. It can only be transferred. It's like along the lines of that, right?
Yep, I've heard. I've heard
It's like
that.
Newton's third law of. It's not. No, that's their law of motion, idiot boy. But it's a law. It's
No. I know
It
what
is.
you're saying. I know what you're saying.
so. I mean,
That is so.
that
Hold
is
on,
like,
hold on. I think you skipped over that way too fast. That is crazy to think about. And energy can only be transferred. It cannot be erased.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's freaking crazy.
So like, if you want to quit vaping, you need to put that energy
Into
towards
something
something else, right? It's like, that's just like baseline kind of whatever. But so yeah, when that makes me think of like when you die, like we don't exactly know what the consciousness is as common people, right? I think FBI and like there's obviously people out there who I'm pretty sure probably know what the hell is going on. But yeah, that's kind of what makes me like kind of low-key believe in ghosts. But it also goes back to like, if you don't believe in something, can't really hurt you, because you don't believe in it. So like, if you believe in it, you're gonna look for it.
You are,
and you're gonna try to be like,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna try to justify it to yourself, like, it's ghosts. But if you don't believe in it, it's gonna be like, well, that was the cat, like,
Yeah.
So there's that. Experience-wise, the only experience that makes me think there are ghosts is Christian's mom's house. It was like a townhome kind of deal in Egan. You've been there. It was like, had the million flights of stairs.
Oh yeah.
There was like two different types of ghosts there, like an army man and like a woman. And you would literally hear army boots stomping constantly.
Stop.
Like,
it.
yeah, like crazy. We'd be sleeping there, and we'd hear them. Like, heavy, yeah.
I would literally be laying in my bed with a blanket over me and just
We
shaking
were
my head.
terrified sleeping there. Like, sleepovers there when we were kids. Like,
Are you sure this wasn't pranks pulling? Like,
no, absolutely not.
that is.
So, okay, actually, that just sparked another memory in me. So, first off, I'll continue on what I was saying is I was sleeping on the cot, right? And everybody else was asleep. Bunk beds behind me. Person to my left on the floor. I'm kind of up against the right wall. I'm on the cot. Everybody's like sleeping. I'm sleeping. Well, I guess eyes closed. We just went to bed.
Okay.
And he does have cats, but I'm laying there. There's a little bit of room at my feet, and somebody like sat at the edge of my bed, and I thought it was like Mark or somebody, so I start kicking them, and nothing was there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'd call. How old are you?
13, 14.
I'd immediately call my mom, and then I would tag and then add in the call 911.
And this one, this one for some reason I always forget about, but like, you just sparked my memory on this. Is we were in their basement, and Christian used to sleep in the basement.
I remember that.
And I
remember that.
I was sleeping on the
when they had the mattresses. Yeah.
But I was sleeping on the recliner. Same deal. We were all going to bed. My eyes are shut, and I don't remember if it was on my back or my chest, but like I just felt like a burning sensation, and I like woke everybody up, and I was like, my back freaking hurts, or my chest hurts, or whatever. And we look at it, and it's a literal handprint. Yeah. Yeah. So that's like kind of low key what got us all into God back in the day. Because then we ended up being a Christian band, and we would play at the church, and like, because we saw like evil right off the bat, being young. So like,
love that.
Yeah, and then
That's
kind of fell off, and I'm kind of like, I'm definitely back on it. Not kind of, I definitely am back on it. I'm not gonna make another Christian band, but like,
yeah,
I think pertaining to God, everybody has their own relationship, and what's important is that one-on-one. I don't like, you need to go to church. Like, okay, you can go to church if you want to like go like have that kind of connection with him, but what's important is like the one-on-one. That's what's really important. But aliens, it's hard because I've been looking into flat Earth, and I have been looking into like a bunch of evidence on the globe and a bunch of evidence on flat Earth and stuff like that, and all the different studies people do both ways and whatnot. So I'm gonna get a lot of flack for saying flat Earth shit, but I don't give a hell.
Give a hell.
Say the Earth is round and we are flying through space with everything spinning around us, right?
I love how you just like. I love that. I love how I love how you explain your shit like that because it's so funny. Flying through space and everything's just flying around.
And space is a vast and infinite and whatnot. You'd be ignorant not to think that there's not another life form out there.
Yes.
Right?
You would be idiotic.
Yeah. But say we are locked in a firmament. I do want to show you this map that I found, because like it pertains to extraterrestrial, because when you think of extraterrestrial, what's like terra, like terraform, it's earth, right? It's ground, terra.
Yep.
And extra is outside. So extraterrestrial could be outside of what we know as of the world, right?
Yes.
So imagine this is our world.
Yep.
And flat earthers say we're surrounded by an ice wall. So let's say we go past that ice wall and there's more land. And there's another one over there. And there's another one over here. And there's another one over here. But it's all just land interlocked by ice walls. And that's why there's like an Antarctic treaty where nobody's able to go past it. Like,
yeah, see, I didn't know that whole thing.
Like,
so you're telling me that technically speaking, you can't go to the tip.
You cannot go past. No,
like you can't go to the tip of the Earth or whatever you would want to call it.
You cannot,
because
nobody can.
Because we think of the Earth as this. We never think of the Earth as this. We always think of the Earth as this, right? So land is like this, and then you know what I mean. And we have our Antarctic walls, or you know what I mean. So you can't go here.
You can't go past the ice walls. You are not allowed to. Nobody's allowed to go past them.
Allowed or can't?
Well, you could, but like, I'm sure you will probably get shot down.
Wow.
Like, I'm sure that you will probably get killed and just be disappeared and like. But like, that's my question everything mind, right?
Yep.
That's my question everything mind. That doesn't mean like that's 100% what I believe, but like there's a lot of evidence backing it. That's the only thing.
It's true.
And like that's not the only thing. There's like other shit too, but like yeah, those are my two different extraterrestrial mindsets where yeah, it could literally be anything and I could be completely wrong about both of them. It could be completely different.
Yeah.
Like
it's true. Yeah, see the ghost thing for me has been kind of off and on until didn't I tell you about the story that happened at my sister's when I was there?
Yep.
Terrifying. Obviously I'm going to explain it, but you know, my sister's house is now under construction right now. She's doing a full remodel. So if you guys can imagine, so she's got a 6,000 foot Rambler, just a giant in California and Alpine, just a big long. You can't get to one level of the house by circling around. It's just one giant long, just unit. The whole thing's under construction.
You want to keep going while I do porch strings?
Yeah. So I just did ice, Captain Coke. The whole house is under construction. So if you guys can imagine, this thing is, so it's not as like under construction as you guys would think. Like the walls are still intact, but it's getting painted, refloored. New kitchen, all new rooms. I mean, all new bathrooms, stuff like that. So there's plastic up everywhere, the painting plastic up everywhere. And there was a night where I was like, we were hanging out, watching a movie in my sister's room, walking down the big hallway, and it's like if you guys the movie in E.T. when the whole house is under like, everything's happening where the house is all, you know what I mean? I can't explain, like under plastic and the tubes and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that where I had to like, ducking through this hallway and there's plastic everywhere and little bit of light and apparently, as my sister says, there's a entity in the house that's been there way before the house was built. The house was built in like the mid 90s, I want to say it was built in. So it's not like super old, but it was apparently this entity is like an old farmer. And what she was explaining is an old farmer. So she has a Bible in every single room in the house. The Bible does not get moved. And so that house has a Jack and Jill room. And it spends most of its time mainly in those rooms, apparently. So these doors were all closed off. So Jack and Jill is 2 rooms side by side, identical, with a bathroom, with sliding doors, with a big vanity, and then the bathroom the vanity's right there, and then there's a door right in the middle with the actual private. You have your toilet with the shower and stuff. It's typically with like older houses nowadays. So it spends most of the time in there. So Bible's in either room. I was like, whatever. And that night where I was going back to my room, I was coming down that hallway and
Fucked it up.
And I was going down that hallway and I felt like that weird kind of like all of a sudden I got goosebumps. I felt like I was like, I don't know, like just like getting kind of tense. It felt really awkward and weird for no reason. And almost kind of like that loud back ear, close your eyes, but it kind of,
that boogeyman feeling, kind of
boogeyman
when you're walking upstairs and it's dark behind you.
Yes, but like you close your ear, or you cover your ears, but then you kind of almost hear like a loudness, kind of like that kind of noise, like the creepy like kind of get loud. I was like, it was like a weird kind of sensation. Like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I was walking down the hallway. I'm like, something's not right. And all of a sudden I looked and the door at the end of the hallway was shut. And this is late. End of the hallway was shut. And the temperature, she has individual, like the Nest things everywhere all over her house, so you can set the individual zones of the house and stuff. It was really, really weird. I can't remember if it was hot or it was cold or what it was. But I walked, I hit the corner and everything's under plastic, and I turned and like this light at the end of the hallway was shining down on all the plastic, and it was the creepiest look, and I was like, something's just not right. And I ran down the hallway and I shut the door because it was open, but the light was off in that room, and like this, everything's plasticed up. So I like reached in there, I shut it, went in my room, and all of a sudden like the temperature changed like that. I'm like, oh, I gotta go freaking turn the freaking Nest on. So I like pulled the plastic back, and as I'm pulling the plastic back, I'm like turning the Nest and like getting it to the temperature or whatever it was, up or down. And I looked and I felt that type noise in my head, and I felt that kind of boogeyman feel, and I looked at the end of the hallway, and in the room the door was open and the light was on. Mm-hmm. And I ran to my room, shut the door, and I was like,
And you were saying everybody else is on the opposite side of the house.
And it's just me and my sister and her fiance on the opposite of the house. There's no way they would come down there. There's no reason for them to, or prank me or anything. When they prank me, it's like...
It's an obvious prank.
It's stupid pranks, as you know what they do.
Ice cold water in the shower types kind of pranks.
Yeah, like they wouldn't do some weird shit like that. They just wouldn't. And I would have heard it because there's the
you can hear the stepping.
It's the paper. There's that thick ass paper all over the floor too. It's so loud when you walk, like it's super obvious. And that sparked my ghost like entity type. Like there's definitely, I do believe in that kind of stuff, because like I wasn't okay with that. Like I was truly, inside afraid.
Yeah.
Not afraid for my life, but I was very afraid.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very terrifying. Mm-hmm. And I remember that night, I can't remember if I was again hot or cold again after it switched or whatever it was, but I was like...
It got cold and you probably went to go turn the heat on.
It was something like that, but long story short, I remember I locked that thing. I'm like, I don't care what temperature this thing gets to or how I feel now. I am done for the night. I am not leaving this room. So that was that. Aliens, I mean... As Andrew knows, I love like the future and how the world's gonna end and all this. Like I'm obsessed with it, and that'll go to our next question too. So I'm not gonna dive too deep into the aliens because I kind of went on that long story there. But yeah, dude, like aliens, I definitely like think that there's stuff out there, 100%, like hands down. Obviously, it's just my own personal opinion.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna dive into it.
The ocean is like 30% discovered.
Yeah, I mean,
there's definitely things down there that we don't know about.
If you want to call aliens, like, I believe in like gigantic, huge, massive, prehistoric alien type animals out there, like in the ocean, 100%. The ocean's terrifying.
I'm terrified of water.
Yeah,
big bodies of water.
And we both have a fear of. We both have some weird fears. I've got like a weird fear. I'm just gonna expose myself really quick. I have like a weird fear of like empty pools. My sister does too.
Pools don't get me.
Empty pools. deep, empty pools. They're just it's not okay for some reason. I don't know why. It's a weird. It's really weird. You can look it up. It's an actual fear. Empty pools. My sister we found this out. She's a fear of that too. We watched a video together. It's terrifying. We'll react. We'll watch it when we go live. We'll do this video. We'll watch it again. Me and Andrew hated every second of it. It's like it's submerged giant objects.
That's like megaphobia or whatever, but like, but submerged underwater. Oh my God.
So like my obsession is sunken ships, and I hate it. But I force myself to like try and break my fear, but.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that. We'll move on. But like,
do we want to do one more question? I got more of a lighthearted one also, just the easier that we could kind of end it off of.
Sure, that's fine. I'm cool with that.
All right. Excuse me. What is your biggest pet peeve? If you can't think of them right off the bat, I'll freaking go because
go.
Slurping noises. Like if we're like when we're in the sauna and somebody has a water bottle and they just slurp it up like, or they're chewing gum, like it drives me insane.
Really?
Yeah. Like, that's why when you slurp or something, I go, slurpy derpy. Like, it triggers me.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I've known you for so many years. Now we live together. We've lived together for a long time. I never even knew that.
Yep.
That's
Slurping.
Wild.
I cannot.
My biggest pet peeve, honestly, I got a really simple one that you probably would understand. My biggest pet peeve is I'm a very social person. I like making plans. I like doing a lot of things and this and that. And I can't stand when people flake on me.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty common one for people.
It is a biggest pet peeve of mine is when people flake on me and then they will play it off like it's no big deal. I don't know why, but it's just like, dude, like, yeah. There's just something about it. Or just, I guess in general, just like saying they're going to do one thing and then not doing the other.
That's what I was going to say also, kind of piggybacking off that is like when they say they're going to do something, but then they just like don't, and they say, oh, I forgot about it. And it's just like, you literally said you were going to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I think we both kind of done that to each other a few times. And
yeah.
We can both kind of tell it's
definitely irritating
for both of us. Yeah, 100%. I just noticed we haven't even had the lighting on this whole time.
Wow. And we just got basic lighting.
Wow, we never even actually like fully hooked up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fine. It's too late now.
Whatever. That's good. I think it's less flickery.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
There's gonna be the goal is there's gonna be thousands of podcasts more.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? We're good.
Yeah. Closing thoughts.
Well, I was gonna do one more. Well, I have to finish it.
Oh, you want to do one more question after that one? Okay, we can go for one more. Yeah.
So I want to do one. I want to do one that this is a fun topic for both of us, and so it'll probably go for a little bit, and then we'll end it. I guess. Damn it! I have two really, really good ones I want to talk about. Hold on, I gotta figure which one I want to talk about. I guess okay. So, do you want to talk about one that we have no idea about that we have physical absolutely because it's in the future? Or do you want to talk about one that's like an actual conspiracy that is big for me and you, but I don't have a ton of knowledge, so it's kind of fun to talk about anyways. I'll let you pick. Or we could just bang through both because they're both really fun topics for me and you.
Okay, I'll try not to draw out my answer on the conspiracy one, but let's go with that one first.
We're going both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so the conspiracy one. Okay, so the conspiracy one is I wrote down space, moon, travel, Mars. So all of it. I'll
It's kind of pertaining to the extraterrestrial.
I'll go first and then let you close it.
I could go on and on about this one.
I know.
That's why it's hard.
Actually, let's just me and you go back and forth on this one. You start.
So, I mean, it kind of goes back to, like, the moon landing was fake.
100%.
There's literally people who have gone to Buzz Aldrin, gone to all those people on Apollo, and said, hey, put your hand on the Bible and swear that you landed on the moon and you stepped foot on the moon. And they get triggered. Like, no, this is blasphemy. There's videos.
They won't do it.
They will not do it.
They won't do it.
No.
And so, and I know you. When I always bring this up, I know it's like it's a movie, but my all-time favorite movie series. Transformers. Mm-hmm. And one of the big ones is about the dark side of the moon. And in there's a ton of shit, and they bring the real Buzz Aldrin in the movie. That part doesn't actually matter, but he's actually in the movie. It's kind of funny there, but Agent Simmons, he's the old Sector 7 guy that he's a freaking addict about the Transformers, species and shit, and they're explaining that it was sworn secrecy, and they locked all these briefcases away, and it was literally like. Obviously, in the movie, they did go to the moon, so that part but it's the when they showed like the actual true old clips when it was JFK in office. I'm pretty sure it was at the time, and how he's saying this is the one step for mankind, one step for
space race,
whatever it was, and so it was just a space race. But like, and they show the true footage, and they show obviously the movie footage, and blah blah. They go back and forth, but it's. All of a sudden, boom, they hit the dial and we lost them, whatever. And it's just like, it's gross. I would love to do a bunch of research into it, but yeah, me and Andrew, I mean, it's the thing that like mind boggles us both. And we both keep always going back to, it's like, so in 1960, it was 59 or 60, right? 1959 or 1960, it was 1960.
69.
Hey Siri, when did we land on the moon?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
69. Jesus,
yeah.
Of course. 1960. Okay, so it has been 54 years since we've landed on the moon. 54 years, ladies and gentlemen, is a long time. In 1969, we had nothing. So if you're telling me, if in 1969 we landed on the moon, and we have Elon Musk, and we have SpaceX, and we have the technology now, we'd be going to the moon every 2 months.
We have Elon, who's created a rocket that can literally be used again and again and again. Yeah. Not where you landed on a flight strip, where it literally is a rocket and it lands itself. Like,
it can go back. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd be literally going every 2 months. We'd be building a colony out there. We'd be building a giant, we haven't gone since.
But
we haven't landed on the moon. Man hasn't landed.
As far as we know.
Why?
As far as we know. Because I've heard things to where they got to the moon and they were approached by crafts.
Yes.
And like, obviously that's all hush kind of stuff. And they got the hell out of there.
Yes, I've heard so much. Where they got there. It's not what they were thinking. There was life form. There was different things where it was like unbelievable. Like, we need to get the hell out of here. Oh, we just landed on the moon. We smashed the American flag down. We were the first people. This is our freaking planet. We get the hell out. But then there's exactly what you just said, where it's.
But then I've also seen exact images of a place on Earth that lines up exactly with the place on the moon or the place on Mars. And it's just like, and there's NASA rovers where you can literally go to Google Maps and find it. Like, there's so many back and forth. Like,
but there's something that is fishy. As what before we hit record, me and Andrew, I was just curious about is like it's the leaving our atmosphere or leaving our what is it? What is it again?
It's the
Is
atmosphere.
the atmosphere? So like you can get up and you're in space, but it's
It's
leaving
what holds our air in.
it's leaving our atmosphere and coming back into it.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right. I think we've sent things to the moon, but I think they've said, "Oh, we got there," but I think it went horribly wrong.
I just don't think we can get past a certain point.
I don't think we can either.
Like, every rocket launch, it's curved. It's out to the ocean. Any footage of people on the space station and stuff like that, there's no stars anywhere. Not only that, there's been released footage of green screens of them in the space station. They're blue screens, and videos of them grabbing wires, and gravity all of a sudden happens, and like they're like, "Oh, I have a deck of cards, and here's a deck of cards. Here's a hammer." Card falls. Like, okay, well, obviously that's on a wire, and that one failed. Like, there's a lot. Like, this is why you need to question everything.
Well, and there's also
and we could be completely wrong.
Well, and they also have the technology nowadays where they have the simulations.
It's CGI. Like, they can CGI.
Well,
like,
and we also have the technology in the simulation to simulate gravity.
yeah.
So you can easily just stunt it.
Yeah.
Hey, we've been on the space station now for 9 days.
You see videos.
This is how I brush my teeth. The toothbrush is floating.
Yeah. You see videos of like the
you gotta grab
the
the water.
spaceship that they used for Apollo. It's literally tinfoil.
It's
So you're telling me that made it through all of that? Like,
dude, the thing that people like don't actually like think about though, that's like it's funny to think about though now, if you really dive into it. 1969, we had nothing. Why can't we take these
50 years.
multi-billion-dollar spacecrafts into outer space, land, hang out, add something? And I'm just even saying, like, dude, if we actually had the technology, we would start building things out on the moon.
but the problem is their excuse is like, there's nothing there. There's nothing of use.
False.
There's nothing
Then
of
what?
use.
Then what's the point of NASA? What's the point of SpaceX?
You
If
know,
there's nothing there,
I told you this the other
then
night.
it would be
if you look up what NASA stands for, what the word NASA actually means, it means deceive.
yeah, but isn't it actually?
And then you look at the red line through NASA. It's literally a snake tongue.
Isn't it like National Aerospace Association or something like that?
Easy cop out, in my opinion, but
I don't know. It just like there's something so fishy about going into outer space, but the moon landing, it triggers me and Andrew because it's like it doesn't make any sense. Any of it makes no sense.
A lot of things don't actually make sense if you like logically think about them. But you are raised and you're ingrained in these ways of thinking, and everybody is. So then you start thinking outside of the box, and you're called crazy. You're called an idiot. Like, oh, really? Oh, you think the fucking world is flat? It's like, we haven't actually had an actual picture of the Earth. No astronaut has done a 360 with a camera out in space. There's no stars in space. Like, flight patterns are a bit weird.
Flight patterns. When you told me that,
like, there's a lot more that goes into it.
Say the flight pattern.
Well, it's like there's certain stops that they make, right? Like, oh, I need to fuel up. So they're going from here to here, and Hawaii is here. And, God damn it, I'm not great with remembering this right now. But, like,
You're fine.
what they'll do is they'll go all the way up and all the way back. But if you were to flatten it out, it's literally a straight line. And it, like, would make sense. Oh, no wonder they went there. Like, and not only that, you ask pilots and stuff like that. Do you, when you're flying, do you adjust for the curve of the Earth? No. You just fly straight.
But then people say it's because of the atmosphere. And you're flying straight, but it's because I don't know.
I mean,
I looked at
there's obviously arguments, and
because it's so
they're worth
big,
looking at, and they are worth looking at.
So we're not saying the world's flat. We're not saying
No.
the world is curved. We're not saying so. Just so everybody's
It's
on the
worth
same page.
thinking about. It's worth talking about.
And this
because
is something that like me and Andrew are gonna. We have lots of time, and this is one topic that that me and Andrew love to dive into. So we'll start doing a lot of digging into, and we'll start doing reaction videos when we're live, and we'll do. We'll do. Trust me, we will do a long segment of probably even multiple nights of like the conspiracy that the world is flat or curved, and like have we gone out of space?
I've seen like
and,
FBI documents and stuff like that, like disclosed documents, like flat, not curved, like.
It's all messed
but like
up.
it could be somebody who just recreated a disclosed.
It's, of course, 100%.
Like, easily. You can recreate that.
But these topics too do truly like really make you
It's thought-provoking.
think about your existence.
It's
and,
thought-provoking.
and everything that you've known. And it's funny. It's just funny. It's fun. It's fun shit to talk about. Okay, so cool. We'll just leave it at that. So there's the conspiracy.
Yeah, we kind of went on a bit of a conspiracy pod tonight, honestly.
Yeah.
We had some kind of other questions here and there,
Yeah.
but like
Definitely
aliens, space, ghosts.
So then here's the last one that I'm obsessed with. Obsessed with, as you know. No, it's not the Titanic. It's not the Titanic.
Pirates.
I like we dive into some ship sinking shit one day, but pirates. No. I'm obsessed with our future. And I said in here, just in my notes, I said cyberpunk era of the world 2077, just because of the game Cyberpunk 2077. But like, so 50 years. So we'll just say, we'll say 55 years from now.
I don't think we'll be as advanced as we think we will be.
So that's why my question, like, what do you think? Like, because like when I think of like cyberpunk, I think of like, I've never played Cyberpunk 2077, like that actual game. But I've seen like obviously videos and stuff, and as you know, like I'd love to play it one day. But like I think of like a lot of Borderlands stuff.
Have you ever seen this? I don't know if it's so much a theory, but how the world, it goes through these like, I think it's like 20 or 40 year blocks, and there's 4 of them, and each of them are a different. Like not trial, but like a different like stage, right?
I've heard
it's
about
like,
this.
It's like it's like depression, rejoice, like oh god, it's been a while since I've seen this one. I can't remember.
Rebuild.
No, it's like
I know what you're talking about. I've heard of this, but I've heard of the segments.
I need to see if I can find it real quick. But like pretty much it is pretty freaking, it pertains to like the past.
I'm sure.
Pretty accurately.
I'm sure.
Like,
I'm absolutely sure. But I would love to see us get to that point for some reason. I'm just obsessed with like, I mean, just seeing the future and how it can end up. I think it's scary and exciting, and who knows, and it's gonna be a ride. But like, with Borderlands, right? It's fun to like see like, how they obviously in Borderlands, like that definitely takes place, quite a few years from now. You have the bots like Claptrap, and you got people like these different bots that are you're running like what's that one the one thing that you have to do where you have to go to the coffee bar, the coffee bot. Like I believe stuff like that. I mean, like dude, like not Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's the 100-year cycle theory, is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So we can dig into that a bit more. If you guys are curious, just look up the 100-year cycle theory. It's an ancient unit of time that spans through 80 to 100 years. The idea is that the cycle of human affairs approximates the length of a long human life. It is not easy to wrap one's head around, especially if one is not already intimately familiar with American history. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't able to explain it that well, but like there's 4 turnings within 100 years.
That's crazy.
And like it's pretty freaking accurate with the past, and it's accurate with what we're in right now. And there's people who explain we are in this one right now, and boom,
we should
bear bug happens.
We should do a.
Do you know what bear bug is? When I say bear bug happens,
no,
it's the wrap this around your finger before you touch something, or else you're gonna get sick. And like, yeah, like
it's funny because if you think about it, 100 years exactly to this day would be 1925. A
first turning is like
world.
crisis. The unraveling. Yeah, no, that's something we can dive into later on, though. That's
just keeping it like tonight, like the cyberpunk era. Like I don't know. There's something about it. I mean, because it's not out of reach. Because I think like a lot of things could happen and get to that point, but like, I'm more or less talking about like cyberpunk, meaning like we're all chipped. We're all like
I will never chip myself.
You know what I'm saying though. Like, but I'm just saying like there's so much about it, and we can dive more into that. I think at different
yeah, because
too,
eventually they're gonna be like, hey, if you get this implanted in you, you'll have eternal life. You'll never be able to die, and people are gonna take that.
Or it's gonna be, you take this and you're gonna have your house paid for.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have.
And if you don't, you're gonna have absolutely nothing. You can't eat here. You can't buy groceries here. You can't work here. You can't go to the gym here. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be straight democracy. It's gonna be straight anarchy. It's
communism, kind of, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
It's coming.
Democracy's not terrible. Don't get me wrong, because democracy is like...
You're right. That wasn't the right terminology there.
Yeah. No, democracy's not bad.
It'll be anarchy,
but
it'll be, because like when I think of like cyberpunk, I think of like giant skyscrapers, and I think of like different bots.
The wall,
and I think of like
you've seen the wall,
lots of screens, and lots of like as you're walking on the street, vote for blah blah blah
oh my
blah.
God, be careful, jeez.
Like vote for blah 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 blah, or you're gonna have something happen in your life.
It's
or
not even gonna be vote.
And then as you're walking through, have you stopped in and had the new drink that's gonna give you eternal life at blah 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 at something bar? Like what I mean? Like it's like as you're consistently like you're hearing like these different things, and there's gonna be screens everywhere on the side of buildings that are gonna be, I don't know, like that's like the cyberpunk, and it's gonna be lots of like.
But it's dirty.
It's dirty. It's gross.
But
it's like,
everybody up top in the buildings are the wealthy ones.
Yes.
And it's clean way up top. That's literally the line. I think I've showed you this. I forget where it is, where they're making this.
But hold on. Before you say this, and the biggest thing about it is that we're gonna make a push. It's like what you said, though. These blocks, these eras, it's gonna be like the cyberpunk. Once we hit that era and we push hard, it's gonna be a push hard for like that 10, 15 years, and we think that we're going to sustain. We think that we're going to be able to actually sustain in that era, and like it's going to be the next way of the future and this and that, and then it's going to all of a sudden just tank. And like you just said, and then all of a sudden it's just like the trash, the dirtiness, the anarchy of the homeless, and it's just going to overtake, and like we won't be able to sustain it, and it'll just be terrifying.
Yep. But this line, it's in Saudi Arabia. It's one straight line, and it's mirrors. So it doesn't look like it's it's not infringing on like nature and stuff like that. And it's literally supposed to be like a utopian. You live here, and you can take a sky elevator right over to your job. You live within 20 freaking feet of it
I've
and
seen
whatnot.
this.
And there's
I've seen
this is like the
this.
beginning of like the utopian like cyberpunk kind of thing, because there's going to be
Yes.
everybody, the poor people on the
Yes.
ground, and there's going to be the
Yes.
super rich people up
Yes.
top,
Yes.
and it's all intertwined, and you can't leave, and like
That'll be another
Oh
fun
my.
pod to talk about where we actually show it and show photos and like that'll be. Yeah, I think there's a lot of really fun topics that me and you like to talk about that we're gonna have many nights about. But finishing that up, looking over at Milo right now, he is
being a bitch as usual.
he's being a bitch, but he's big knocked, big loafing,
Yeah,
arms tucked. He's super knocked. So
cool, solid conversations. Went a little bit longer than we expected, probably,
anticipated.
which is fine.
It's fine.
Kind of went on conspiracy rants, which are fine. I think that's thought provoking. I like those types of conversations. Yeah, we'll probably do another one tomorrow. I'll be gone for the weekend.
Right
but,
after bowling league Thursdays.
but yeah, we got kind of the schedule of what we want to do kind of each week, and we can start that next week for sure. It won't be live streaming yet.
We'll probably take a couple weeks to really get the
Yeah.
groove down though.
Yeah, because I still got to work out some things with the Stream Deck and our
Yep.
logos and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, they definitely go a lot more smooth when we're not having to like 10 to 5 guests.
It'll also be fun too, and I was thinking about this too, and I always forget about when we actually go live though. It's gonna be really fun because
we got the chat.
We're gonna look over and we're always gonna have our chat to just like continuously answer questions and go off of, and that's gonna be really fun.
I think it's super chat in
Yeah,
and whatnot, and yeah, make
that'll
fun
be
of
a
us.
really good time. Make fun of us big time. Mainly me, but it's fine.
No, they'll definitely make fun of me too. Are you kidding? Are you
It's
kidding?
true. It's gonna go 50-50 for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, staying this long. If you stayed this long, you already know what we want to see in the chat. Or chat in the comments. We want to see Bad Habits Boys. The freaking sign's not even on.
It's twacking on the camera because it's not bright enough. I figured that out the hard way.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right at the end.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of lights on tonight.
We just kind of sent it, honestly.
We honestly just kind of did send it. That's fine though.
But yeah, Bad Habits Boys in the comments.
If you made it this long,
And
appreciate it.
yeah, we will see you guys in the next one.
and the next one for sure. Peace.